Greetings, I'm Maggie Moon. Thank you so very much for joining me today for this very special edition where I am going to have the honor and the pleasure of engaging in an interview with a man that I highly respect and admire for all of the contributions that he has made to Luciferianism. His works have greatly impacted my life, so I am extremely honored and excited to welcome Michael W. Ford. Greetings. Thank you for being here.
Greetings.
In the earlier years, you worked within a variety of traditions and orders. What inspired and motivated you to venture forth on your own?
Well, early on, in the early to mid 90s into the late 90s, I had always felt closely connected with magic. I saw that it was both empowering, inspiring, and challenging to overcome obstacles and to actually attain basic goals that I had. My approach to magic was non-academic in the sense that a lot of it was intuitive. I read early works of Crowley, which I didn't really resonate with until I really got into Magic in Theory and Practice Book 4. The Book of the Law, in the early days at least, had very little meaning to me. It took me into the late 90s to understand the capacity of that towards initiation. Now, from an early age, I felt deeply connected to the call it an archetype or deific mask that is the adversary and Lucifer, but in different variants. In other words, different manifestations would have different points of inspiration and energy that I could accumulate, gather, and direct. I always felt deeply guided by these concepts. So from LaVeyan Satanism, which is an excellent foundation for the understanding of Satanism as a whole, from the individual philosophy, a foundation. LaVey did the groundwork for everything else that emerged from that concerning left-hand path, exploration, and initiation. But with my work with the basic satanic rituals, I felt that I was being inspired, and intuitively I guided myself towards different avenues of exploration. So from Satanism to Magic in Theory and Practice, which had a great impact on me, centering of the will, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, meaning access and understand that we have an energy, a force, a daemon within that is connected to our subconscious and conscious mind within embodying true will. True will is not do what you want, rather do as your will, what you're driven instinctually to do, the inherent desire. Then discovering the Order of Nine Angles from the satanic grades, and mind you, I drove myself away from the ONA after too much of the NS politics and their kind of bullshit concept of racism came into play. And once I moved around and met all types of different cultures and people, all different types of life, those insight roles brought an experience which redefined my center from not observing people by different race, but just by their merit and who they are individually. But the sinister tradition laid base in the endurance rituals of overcoming and embracing and capitalizing on weaknesses and strengths, and really changing that initiatory viewpoint and that dynamic. Then to the Temple of the Vampire and energy Vampireism, which played a great guide in the isolation of the psyche and my initiation. Chaos magic, Austin Osman Spare, Typhonian magic, Thelema, all of these, and culminating with my first Holy Guardian Angel ritual, the Daemon, being a recording. I recorded in layers because I had an old 8-track reel-to-reel or cassette recorder, the entire Liber Alva Legis to music. I created the music layers, and then like 6 different layers of voices reciting the entire Book of the Law. This was not just a recording for Psychonaut, a project I worked on, but a ceremony of Congressum cum Daemon, or Congress with the Daemon. And the Luciferian kind of model or archetype began to take shape, because I didn't fit into any initiatory order or structure for more than 60%. So I was always the individual, the isolate one, who didn't really fit in. So Luciferianism, defined in a basic philosophy hidden within magical practice, took shape in the late 90s. So it wasn't so much a determination to set out on my own, it's that I felt this drive towards what I had to do, and which I didn't know it to its completion. You learn through little steps, and you get little glimpses of what you're going to drive towards in life. And I've exceeded that beyond, but in the beginnings it was small visions of this is what I have to do. And as you accumulate that energy and direct it and manifest, you are going through the journey of initiation.
In your various published grimoires, there is always a strong emphasis encouraging the practitioner to develop a strong connection and relationship with their inner daemon. Why do you feel this is so very important?
Because many enter magic wanting to experience another, to get a glimpse beyond the wall, beyond the gates, to what that could be. And everybody, no one can say definitively that this is reality or that is, or anything like that. But the daemon is an instinctual guide, an inherent desire. And this goes all the way back to Greco-Roman, Egyptian, Mesopotamian, and then all the magical concepts of theurgy and hermeticism and all these things that came in afterwards. The daemon is a spiritual energy, a guide, a part of our true, what we would call our personal God. We visualize it in a perhaps ethereomorphic or anthropomorphic form, and that is ourself in perpetual excellence, not perfection, but excellence, devoid of our personality. It is what we invoke, and what all of the gods and demons in our ceremonies and workings, those are all energies that flow through the daemon as the mediator. And the daemon is a lifelong enhanceable concept, which by what we do, by what we think, how we interact, this fuels and builds our energy, our power, our psyche, and the daemon. We are one. So the daemon is the anchor, the foundation from which you will journey and create your reality, and even beyond that in the casual or anti-cosmic. That's the guide upon the left-hand path. Not any specific deity. You can have patrons and ones that you are close to, depending on who you are and what your interests are, what you're guided towards. But the daemon is the center, which if you don't have that true will, the understanding of the true will, and those steps to slowly open those gates and manifest the black flame in that form, then you'll be lost. You'll jump around from concept to concept, order to order, this belief, that belief, and none of it will have any lasting central fusion for your, what the Setians call Kepher, or what Luciferians call apotheosis. So that's central and the most important work, and I learned that from Crowley and Kenneth Grant and so forth.
That is wonderful, thank you. Why is it so beneficial to the magician to utilize various deific masks and work with various demonic forces for personal transformation?
Well, if you're a atheistic Luciferian, you're not going to really go into that. You're going to utilize the philosophy in the transformation, the initiation process as you being the guide of your life. But in approaching magic, deific masks, whether you believe in them as spirits, conscious beings, or just abstract energies and symbols or archetypes, it doesn't matter. That's up to you. You have to embrace what works for you and what is shown to you. However, each one has a specific energy that can connect with your inner psyche and your daemon, and that you can utilize and bring within you while you're still mastering and the master of your temple, and shaping, using those energies and benefiting both the deific mask and you, including your daemon. That's to open paths to understanding, paths to acquiring knowledge that you can utilize in a useful way in your life. In doing that and attaining goals, you build a spirituality, a faith in your experience and self that is unshakable over time. Even in the worst circumstances and bad things that happen, you still have that. So it's important in that sense, because you're becoming like a manifestation, as a manifestation of the adversary.
Thank you for sharing that. Can you discuss the role and the benefits of vampiric magic for the black magician?
Vampirism is not for every Luciferian or black magician. Vampirism is for the few that are understanding of the archetype and symbol of the vampire, and can, in a deepening way, explore the foundation concept in the isolate psyche as the vampire consuming energy and using that energy to enhance his or her illumination and apotheosis. For instance, vampirism is not a drinking of blood in the literal sense. That is a metaphor, a symbol utilized in old folklore, some Slavic pagan religions, even Mesopotamian ones, of the concept of the predator. All living beings on Earth, including animals, are predator or prey, or sometimes both. And understanding that as conscious beings, we feed, grow strong, or we die. And energy vampirism is about using the energy, as you can kind of understand from quantum mechanics, the double slit experiment, where consciousness can slowly, in minute or subtle ways, change your world. So in connecting with something else, another type of energy, you can draw that in, feed upon it. Now, I don't mean in the classical, like, TV way, like what we do in the shadows with the psychic vampire who bores people to death. There are those types. But I'm talking about utilizing energy in a way that is often unseen and not necessarily harmful to anyone. It can be used in malefic ways, but those are really techniques that are used for higher adepts who have the maturity and the discipline to know when to use it, and the balance as well. So vampirism can be used to enhance and feed your astral body, your body of shadow, body of light, and feed upon and gather with those in a dreaming or astral plane sense. This also is connected, and some might not have seen this before, but the witch's Sabbath and part of the witch cult that I explored, the Zoskia occultists, from correspondence with Kenneth Grant many, many years ago. And this is a key part of Luciferianism and this vampiric foundation, this core vampiric concept is found in every one of my grimoires, even ones that don't mention vampirism in a sense. You just have to understand the process and the pattern and go past the cipher to utilize those in that way.
Do you have any techniques that you would like to share with us?
Well, let me give you a quick conceptual technique, and one of those is based before you do any type of ceremonial magic or any focus. Working on in the concept of Aramanic yoga can prove very beneficial in balancing yourself and calming the mind and directing the mind and that energy towards your goals. So utilizing the core chakra, the root chakra, you circulate Top Reef and Zerich, two devas, and encompassing them is Taramat, disobedience, rebellion. This is the core of healing, of power, of the Kundalini, where the red serpent rises. And in Luciferianism, it's a red and black serpent, Samael, Lilith, begetting balance. The adversary infernal union begets Baphomet. Baphomet is the symbol of the male or female or transgender, whatever it may be, initiate, the adept. Moving through, you reach into Aishmadeva, which is wrath, fury. This is the sexual desire, prowess. And raising that serpent through breathing techniques of deep and exhale, raising the serpent. You can use mantras or steotas found in the YouTube Dana or my book Drauga. Raising that through to Nayan Hayatha or Nayakias, which is a deva related to the two twins, the Asvins, being disobedience and spiritual intuition. Moving that up to the next chakra of Indar, the warrior, the overcoming storm deva, the one who inspires thoughts against conformity, at least on the interior. Moving up into Savar, Rudra, the storm deva, relating to the voice and the intonation, the will expressed of the black magician. And then moving to the next chakra of Akamana or Akaman. This is this evil mind of one of the first begotten of Araman. This is the Luciferian black flame. This is the Luciferian spirit in both a creative and destructive sense. And then finally, with the horns reaching up in the astral flame, illuminated by your black flame, your focus is the crown chakra relating to Araman. This is touching into the adversary, the one, the inspirer, the awakener, our true father. And in this, Samael, the female and the male are joined. This is balance. This technique, and can be utilized in different ways, will excel you in your initiatory practice, your magic. And it's something I deeply suggest for all Luciferians and potential adepts.
That is extremely effective and powerful, and I truly appreciate you taking the time to share that. Do you have any new ventures upon the horizon? Any new books coming forth that you would like to share with us?
Yes, in late September, we're going to see The Demons of Solomon, which is my journey and my reconstruction of early 1st to 4th century AD, during the time of early Christianity. Demons and spirits related in that Mediterranean world in the ancient Near East from the myth of Solomon. That's when this text was written. So I took all of those and in research discovered that they were deities or demon spirits that were invoked and worked with during the time period that myth, the story, was written. Reconstructing those and taking all the different sources, creating new workings based on those, and a journey into the story of Solomon in that sense, but it's from a Luciferian perspective. This grimoire will challenge and probably inspire many into demonology and so forth. It's not the goetic demons of the 72 spirits of Solomon. These are much older, and even though the goetic demons, those spirits, are connected to this, there are a few that are interchangeable. They are of a different type, so I highly recommend it. I'm also working on a book, grimoire on Hecate or Hecate and the underworld in Greek and Hellenistic magic. Also a work in Celtic and several other works, including a orthodox, what I call a orthodox satanic grimoire, which is a journey into the demonic archetype of early and late Christianity. Very liberating one for those who like or have a taste for that kind of concept.
I am really looking forward to those upcoming publications. Thank you so very much for your time. I truly appreciate it.
So thank you once again for interviewing me, and I look forward to hearing from many of you and seeing how the works manifest for you. Remember, my Luciferian works are only successful if they are tested, validated, and applied by the individual. And I know that when I see people aren't jumping around from different thing to different thing. When you take it and make it manifest, you're opening that gateway. And there are so many different levels or paths to journey upon. Anyway, thank you once again. Banama Arama.
And until next time, I wish you dark